In this practice today, I'd like to work with you on a little challenge I'm setting myself at the moment, to work with my edge in this kind of classical vinyasa practice where we're going to come to some positions like chataranga and warrior two, some standing positions, and then come down to some of the more classically strong positions like the splits, like lizard lunge, some forward bends. And what I'm working with myself is, can I find a level of enjoyment and enjoyment in my practice in pulling back from my edge rather than trying to push myself past it. If I'm really honest, I think what I've noticed recently is that a lot of the enjoyment I get from my practice over the years has come from succeeding, is improving, is getting better, doing more. So what I'm just noticing and really working with is, can I, at that moment where I'm trying to push to get a bit more, can I actually go the other way? Can I reverse, pull back, do a little bit less and find the enjoyment in that? So if you'd like to join me in this challenge, then come to child's pose and we'll begin there. You will need just a few props, maybe blocks are handy, a blanket, and maybe even a bolster at some point if you just want to just stop and have a rest. That's always welcome. So let's start in child's pose, just settling in. So just take a moment as you rest here to just think about, what do you enjoy in your practice? Where do you glean joy, enjoyment and pleasure in your yoga practice? Is it in the stillness, in the resting, in those quiet moments? Is it in when you're doing something, and like me, when you've achieved something, when you feel like you've really kind of done a complete full practice and maybe more than you were expecting? Do you get enjoyment from that? Do you get enjoyment from a really gentle practice, one where you really haven't pushed yourself and you've just allowed yourself to do very little? And these are all extremes, so just see where you find yourself. Where in all of that do you find yourself falling? Where's your enjoyment? Where do you get pleasure and joy in your practice? Seeing if you can be honest. And then as you rest in your child's pose, take some little stretchy movements. So one hand creeps forward like you're trying to escape and stretch out of child's pose, but the other side just stays relaxed. Reaching. And exhale, release. And then the other side stretching away. And release. And just feel that experience a few moments there, so that you've got this experience of stretching yourself, of reaching, of trying to get further. And then the feeling of relaxing, of letting go, of dropping back. And both have their own qualities, their own experience. And it's important to know and remember that with this, keep going with that stretching while I'm talking, with all of this, nothing's right or wrong. There's no problem about getting enjoyment and pleasure from succeeding in something, from doing well at something, from doing more. That's great. And it's wonderful to enjoy and get pleasure out of doing very little and doing less. But it's when you can sense in yourself that it's a bit out of balance, when you're kind of going too far one way, and that's what we're really looking at here, just to catch that. So as you do this, as you stretch, can you stretch as far as you can with one hand? Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then just relax just slightly, so you're still getting that stretch but less effort, and see how that feels. And then releasing, and then take the other side, so you go as far as you can. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And then you don't reverse completely, you just kind of come out of it a little bit, just a millimetre or two, and just relax there and see how that feels. And then slowly coming up onto your hands and knees, taking a few cat-cows. We're just going to build up some movement, build a practice from here. So just moving and just keep checking where's the balance. Where are you pushing too much? Where are you avoiding and ignoring and trying to escape from? And just feel all of it if you can, what's happening. By really going into your body. Do cat-cow again with just that sort of tapering back, just that easing back off the accelerator slightly, just a little bit more softness, a little bit more ease. And then when you feel ready and you feel like downward dog is the next place you'd like to go, then take downward dog. You might want to spend a bit longer in cat-cow. When you're ready for downward dog, just stretch out, keeping the knees a little bent, pressing into the hands, extending back through the hips. Come forward into plank pose. Inhale, step the feet back a little, open up the chest. And then go back to child's pose, and we'll just repeat that for a few rounds. So you're sinking back on the exhale. Coming up on the inhale, little cow pose, downward dog, keeping the knees a bit bent, stretching out through the arms, strengthening them, the back. Plank pose, lift the tummy so you've got good support in the core muscles and legs. Lower the knees back into child. Another round like that, inhaling, coming up. Really getting into your breath, deep inhale. Exhale all the breath out in dog. Forward into plank, inhale. Back into child, exhale. So from child we're going to come forward preparing for cobra, inhale. And I'd like you to come through half chaturanga today, so keep the knees on the ground, elbows in, half chaturanga, then lower the hips down, take cobra, inhale, and again don't push too hard, lower down on the exhale, and then come up with a flat back onto the hands and knees, inhale. And then downward facing dog, exhale. Let's do all of that again. So inhale forward into plank. Hinge back through child's pose, exhale. Half chaturanga, inhale, come up. Elbows in, hovering flat back, look forward, chest open, then lower the hips. Then taking cobra, inhale. Come down, exhale, push up with a flat back. So it's like you've reversed what you've just done. Come up flat back. And then downward facing dog, going back, exhale. Raise the right leg up, inhale, deep breath in, big stretch. Can you open up your hips? So turn and open the body, opening up. And then flatten the hips, so you square off the hips. Reach the right leg back, square the hips, draw the belly in, deep breath here. Step the right foot forward, exhale and lower the back knee down. We'll take a lunge. So coming up on the inhale onto your knee, bring your hands onto your knee, deep breath. Exhale, lower down, so that's far enough, hands down. Inhale, long stretch in the back leg, straighten the back leg, and then downward dog, stepping back. Plank pose, inhale. Half chaturanga, knees down, and then elbows in, flat back, look forward, lower the hips. Cobra, inhale. Lower down, exhale, coming up with a flat back, lift through the belly. Downward facing dog, exhale. Left leg up, big stretch, open it up, open out the hip, look under the armpit. On the exhale, square the hips, square the chest, reach the leg higher, deep breath. And then step the left foot forward, between the hands, lower the back knee down, bring the hands up to the knee. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, bring your hands down. On the next inhale, straighten the back leg, getting long in that back leg. Downward dog, stepping back. Forward to plank, inhale. Half chaturanga, and we're just building things up all the time. Halfway down, open up the chest, lower the hips. Cobra, don't go too high, keep it open in the heart. Exhale down. Onto all fours, lift the belly, flat back. Downward facing dog, exhale.
Lift the right leg again. Inhale, open up, big stretch. Square the hips and feel the left leg working. On the inhale, lift the right leg, but don't lift the hip so high. And then step the right foot between the hands. Exhale, lower the back knee down. Raise the arms this time. Inhale, open up. And bring the arms back behind you, big shoulder stretch. Exhale, bring the hands down. Step back to dog, inhale. Exhale in dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Half chaturanga, knees and elbows in. Squeeze, lower the hips. Open up, inhale, cobra, lower down, exhale. All fours, flat back, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Left leg up, inhale, open up. Square the hips, feel the right leg working as you square and lift the left leg a little higher. Keep the hips flat. Inhale and exhale, step the left foot between the hands. Lower the back knee. Raising the arms, inhale. So just keeping that rhythm going with the breath. Exhale, arms opening. Lower the hands, inhale, downward dog. Stay there, take an exhale in dog. Forward to plank, inhale. Knees down. And we're just building up with these half chaturangas, just really building up the strength in the shoulders, lower the hips, open the heart, cobra, lower down, exhale. All fours, lift the belly, downward dog, exhale. So preparing for warrior two next, raise the right leg, inhale. Square the hips, exhale. Lift the right leg a little higher with the hips square, inhale. Step the right foot between the hands, exhale, lower left heel down. Coming up to warrior two, inhale. Settle in, exhale, bend the front knee. And then take a couple of breaths here and just come out of your very deep warrior two and just see if you can feel really comfortable where you are. Maybe you release the bend slightly and just soften there. Deep breath. And then on the next exhale, touch the back leg and raise the right arm. Inhale into reverse warrior two, enjoying this lovely opening in the chest. On the next exhale, supported side angle. So bring your elbow onto your thigh, push the knee forward and raise the left arm up. Inhale, reach tall in the arm. And then exhale, slide the back heel a bit more as you reach your arm away from your heel. So fingertips and heel getting longer there. And then stay here for a breath and see if you can enjoy it. And enjoy it by not pushing, but by pulling back, taking your foot off the accelerator, soften a little bit. You're not collapsing, you're just opening up to the experience. And then straighten the front leg as you lean back, reverse triangle. So straighten the leg, but don't lock it. Open up the heart, deep breath. And then windmill forward, bring your fingers to your shin and take Trikonasana, triangle. Turn and open the chest, maybe look at the ground with the head, take the weight off the neck, the head, and then just take a few breaths in your triangle. Maybe come up a little bit higher today than you might normally and just open the heart that little bit more, which feels so good. Deep breath. And then lower the left hand down. We're going to come to pyramid. So this is the first of one of these quite strong forward bends. So hop the left foot forward and out to the side a little. This is where you may want to grab blocks for your hands if you're very tight in the hips. Square the hips, or you can use fingertips to the ground. So whatever works here to put your hands on blocks or hands on the ground. And I've long arms, so it's not as hard for me to get my hands to the ground. But if it is, then use the blocks. Square the hips, open up the chest, and then folding in. And just feel into this edge, this place where you can feel it starting to get less pleasant, more unpleasant, if we're honest. So instead of reaping rewards by toughing it out and going further, can you come out of it a bit more, get longer in the spine, and where's the pleasure? Where's your body? Maybe pushing into the feet and getting more opening in the hips feels nicer. Maybe just letting the head go, or bending the front knee a bit more and folding in deeper feels nicer. That's nice actually, I'm going to stay there. So just find the place where you go, oh, I can relax, I can enjoy it. And then coming out of this, and you're going to swing the right leg into dog split. So move the left foot back, bring the knee down. If you've used blocks, move them out the way, and swing the right leg up and behind you into dog splits. And really open, maybe wiggle the knee and the hip. Get the juices flowing back in there again. Feel where you've been working. Deep breath. And then come forward with your leg in the air, so you're into plank with your right leg still hanging behind you. Point the back toes, rest on the top of that foot, flip onto the top of the other foot so your legs are straight, and you're in up dog now. Open up the chest and then roll over the toes, downward dog. Come forward into plank, inhale. Hinge back to child's pose, just briefly exhale, or stay if you want to. Inhale up, coming down into half chaturanga, elbows in, lower the hips, inhale through cobra, exhale down. Come up with a flat back or into up dog if you enjoy that, and then down dog, exhale. Second side, lift the left leg, inhale, open up. Step the left foot forward, exhale, bring the right foot down, windmilling up, and find your warrior two. So just see, again, where is your normal warrior two? And sometimes we normally have to sort of try and go further, further, further. Can you just find a comfortable warrior two today? So it feels sort of strangely easy, like, oh, I can actually just feel quite comfortable here. Deep breath. And then reverse your warrior two. Touch the back leg, lean back, and let the head go. Feel that lovely opening through the side waist, the chest. Supported side angle, bring your elbow onto your thigh, push the knee forward. Raise your right arm, open up the chest, and then tip forward a little bit more. As you slide your back heel back, feel that line between the heel and the fingertips getting longer. Reach, 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 and then ease off the reaching, relax into it, and just open the chest more. Turn towards the heart, turn the heart towards the sky, deep breath. And then go back, straighten the front leg, leaning back, touch the back leg, reaching, open your side waist, this is reverse triangle. And then tip forward, keep the front leg straight, but don't lock the knee. Bring your hand below your knee, and then raise the right arm up into the air, so back arm goes up. Push the feet down, open up. And if in Trikonasana you're always trying to go that bit further, to get further, further, further to the ground, maybe today go slightly the other way. Just come up a bit more, and then open the chest, and then reach the arm and feel how much more space there is, how open this is. How enjoyable it is. And then bring your hand down. We're going to pyramid pose here. So you step your back foot forward and out to the right a little. And then I'm going to grab blocks for this one. Square up the hips, draw your chest forward, and extend as you draw that front hip back, folding in, and feel where's your edge. Does it feel nicer today, more enjoyable, to push the feet and reach out through the spine to get more length, and you have to kind of come up a bit, or maybe to bend the front knee and let some of the tension go out of the leg and then fold down through the head. See what suits your body and where you can enjoy it. But either way, you're trying to avoid getting better. You're just being where you are. Settling in, dropping down. And it's a real challenge for our ego. It's a real challenge for this over kind of busy, this part of us that feels that we have to continually improve ourselves, that to actually go the other way can create all sorts of inner struggle, inner voices in the head that don't understand what we're doing. It's just working with that mentally. And then coming up, we're going to swing this front leg up into dog split, so it can feel a little bit like it's broken at first, but It'll come back. So step the back leg back and then swing this front leg up, and you'll feel all those sensations where you've been working. So even if you kind of were easing off a bit there and you were taking it gently, you realize, God, I've really been working. There's been loads happening. You can feel it in your leg. And then come forward with your leg hanging in the air. So plank on one leg and it's strengthening. Just rest the top of that left foot on the ground, flip onto the top of the right foot, and then take up dog. Mind your lower back, deep breath. And then down dog, roll over the toes if you can, stretch back. Come forward into plank, inhale. Taking half chaturanga, exhale. Lower to the ground, ready for cobra, elbows and shoulders peel back. And then lower down. Up dog, or flat back onto all fours, and then down dog, exhale. So we're going to come to lizard lunge now. So swing the right leg up again, deep breath in, step the right foot outside the right hand, so step it through, bring the back knee down. So this is where this lunge, where you start to come quite far forward and down, and it's a big challenge for the hips. So you can see if I turn to the side a little here, that you're coming down inside the leg. And for a lot of us, it's not possible to bring both elbows down. So you can just lower one elbow down, bring the other hand up onto the knee. You can use your blocks here for your hands, or you can even put them for your elbows to come down on. So just see if you can work honestly and work realistically for what your body can manage today, and feel this edge. And if you're like me and so many of us, it's this feeling of like, okay, well, if I can get a bit further, if I can get past this uncomfortable bit, that's where the enjoyment is. It's past this edge. What if, as I'm experimenting with, what if the enjoyment is the other way? If the enjoyment actually comes from going, I'm going to do it, just actually come out of it and then be there, because it's still a big shape, there's still loads going on. So take a few breaths there, seeing what's happening for yourself. Let the head drop. And then bring your hands back a little bit if they were forward. Lift the back knee and stretch out the back leg. And then lower the knee again, and we're going to take the front foot, so the right foot out, and slide it. If you're on a mat, take it off the mat so you've got this sliding surface. Extend the leg, and then from here, come up onto your fingertips, and it's a big stretch. This is, we're going into the splits. And if you bring your legs straight out in front, it's much more challenging. Bringing the leg out at an angle means you're more likely to get more opening in the hips. So just getting that outside the line of the mat, opening up. And then let's try coming forward. So again, like lizard, just come onto your hands, put the blocks down under your elbows, or maybe bring your elbows onto the ground, but be realistic. Bend the front knee a little bit. See what's happening. Maybe lift the back knee a bit. Deep breath. And I can feel I'm not actually enjoying this very much, to be honest. If I'm really honest, where can I enjoy this? I think it's back a little bit, maybe up on my fingertips actually. Yeah, that feels good. So play with that and really see where can you honestly find some pleasure, some enjoyment in this. And maybe it's in child's pose, quite frankly, not here at all. So just see what you can manage. Deep breath. And then letting that go, releasing the leg, which will feel and really tell you, yes, you definitely have been doing something. Even if you pulled back from your edge, lift the right leg again in the air. Give it a circle, give it a wiggle, see what's going on there. And then bring the foot down, come forward into plank. Rest in child, or take half chaturanga again. And then lower the hips, cobra. Coming down, exhale. Pushing up through up dog or flat back. See which one you feel like doing. Down dog, exhale. Okay, so let's take lizard and splits on the other side. So stretch out the left leg up into the air. Step the foot outside the hand, exhale. Bring your back knee down. Keep your foot there just outside the hands, and we're going to start to bring the hands forward, and then we'll be bringing the foot forward next. Bring the hands forward, and as they go forward, feel this deep flexion, deep kind of compressing feeling, lots going on in the left hip. And see, maybe you can bring your elbows down, maybe you can't. And just kind of go, where does it feel more enjoyable? So I'm going to try with the blocks for my elbows. And actually that does feel nice. I feel like I can breathe better there. So I'm going to stick with these props. Even though I know I could bring my elbows to the ground if I really worked at it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to be here, see how that feels. And then coming out of this, and let's set up the splits. So bring your foot off your mat and send it out to the left. So it's not quite 45 degrees, but it's definitely shooting off at an angle. And then start to come into this. So onto fingertips or fists first, open up the chest. And then bring the arms forward again, and then bring the elbows down, maybe. So for me, it's a little bit easier to bring the elbows down with the leg extended, but it's still pretty challenging. I'm just going to check and see if I'm actually enjoying myself here. Not really. It's okay, I mean, but if I come up, yeah, this feels better. So see where you can find, and it might not be the most pleasant experience, but it's more enjoyable than just trying to push past your edge. Deep breath. And then bringing the leg back. And reach it up into the air, see how that's feeling. Give it some movement. And bringing the foot down, coming forward into plank. I'm going to rest back in child's pose this time, or take a vinyasa, so see what you want to do. And settle, take a few breaths here. And then from here coming up, and we're going to come back into plow pose, a forward bend here. So just coming, and like you just stepped your right foot and then left foot outside the hands. Can you hop both feet outside the hands and see how you get on? Okay, and then squat here, sitting back into a squat, and we're going to roll back. So can you roll onto your back? And you might need to help yourself with your hand, or just fall onto your bum, and then roll onto your back and take your feet over your head in plow pose. So for some, you might need to use the wall, turn around, push your feet off the wall to give you that momentum to bring yourself over. And then just try bringing your feet over your head into this deep forward bend. And see if you can honestly enjoy it. Or does it feel like you're claustrophobic and you can't breathe? So sometimes, I love this, sometimes it feels so good. It's like the nicest stretch for my neck. I'm just going to check in now, see how it feels today. Yeah, if I let my knees bend a bit and come down towards my ears, that feels better on my back. But I'm not going to spend too long here actually, because it feels quite strong. So today I'm just going to come out of that and just come back, yeah. And some days you just have to check with these positions and go, it's not the right day for that, it's feeling too much. So just come out of these strong positions if your body gives you the message that it says no, or pull back until you feel like you can enjoy it again. And then we're going to try shoulder stand from there. So if you roll into plow again, and this time hold your hips. So hold on to your hips and then bring your legs up into the air. And again, use the wall if you want to here. And then take the hips back into the hands. So one of the other things with these, with this position is if you try and do a fully vertical shoulder stand, it's actually really not good for your neck unless you have a stack of blankets under your shoulders. So if you don't have a blanket stack under your shoulders, then let the hips sink into the hands and you'll feel that your neck feels so much more comfortable. You can breathe properly and you're still getting all the benefits from this inversion. So take a few nice slow deep breaths here. And again, check, are you enjoying this? Do you feel like staying a little longer? Have you been here long enough? And then slowly, if you haven't already, start to come down. Take a moment there, just lying on your back with your knees bent, your feet on the floor, just feeling your breath. Seeing how you're doing, seeing how this practice is affecting you. If you're able to find that edge and move either side of it and see what your experience is, either side of your edge. So we're going to come up to sitting. So you can kind of roll like you've just done plow pose and shoulder stand and roll up to sitting. So from here we're going to come to wide-legged forward fold. So Upavishta Konasana, and it's a really challenging forward bend for humans, if you're one of them. So if you put your blanket, or you can sit up on your block. Blanket's a little bit more workable because it's a bit softer, the block, you can tip off it. And then extend your legs out wide as you can. So as we start to tip forward, you're going to really feel the resistance of the tension in your hamstrings and tightness in the lower back and the groins and the pelvis. So what can happen here is as we come forward, instead of going forward, our tail tucks under. So you get this rounding in your back. And then from here, you're coming forward. Actually, it's like you're kind of going into a real hunch, almost like you're reversing out of the position. I'll turn to the side, so if you want to see that, you can. So instead of rounding the back like this, what we're trying to do is tilt the hips and then come forward to our edge. So if you have a lot of tension coming forward, if that means you're rounding, then you're better off. Your edge is just trying to straighten your spine and just purely sit up and maybe slightly tilt. Okay, so find your edge, come forward if you can, keeping the lower back flat, so we're not rounding at all, the spine is nice and flat. And come forward and come forward and come forward till you feel like you are really meeting that resistance, that edge. And then breathing here, and can you again check in, really immerse yourself in the sensations in your body. And like that, I just needed to come back up onto my hands because being right down there was actually just starting to take me to that place of feeling, well, the only way I can enjoy this is going past this edge and going deeper. So instead, I'm going to pull back and see how that feels. And open up my chest, get longer in the spine. And then just let the depth of the practice happen in the way it wants to happen, without force, without it being goal orientated, just being what it is today. A couple more breaths here. And then maybe just towards the end, let the body round so you can let yourself come forward. If you're kind of coming forward, if you're tilting forward, you can always put a block under your head there, or a couple of blocks under the head, and just rest down for a few more breaths, sinking down. And I've just come back again because, again, being that low was just not today where I want to be. Whereas sometimes it is, but it's not always. So just finding where you can be today. Okay, so let's come to Janu Shirashasana. This is this forward bend like you're doing tree pose with one leg and a full extension of the other leg. So stick with the blanket, so you're still sitting up on that little blanket platform. Extend your right leg out to the side and then start to turn towards the right leg. And as you turn towards the right leg, can you feel there's a lot of tightness here in the left leg, left knee, left hip? So if you need to put something like a block maybe under the knee just to give it some support, then do, because that's really helpful just to take some of the work out of that leg hanging there. And turn towards the right leg. Reach, and you can push the left knee away if that feels good. And then see if you can lengthen out of your hips, so you're getting longer and longer. So a lot of this, we feel that this is all the right leg that we're stretching. That's where the resistance is. A lot of it is in this Baddha Konasana shape in the left leg. So just keep feeling that left leg, turning it, turn away from it, twisting. Use the right hand as a little kickstand, as a prop, and turn towards the right, twisting, twisting, until you feel that resistance, that edge. Bring the left arm across the right leg and use the leg as another little resistance to pull against, and fold forward until you meet your edge, until you meet the place where you can't go any further. This is head to knee, so there is quite a bit of rounding happening in the back, but we don't want to overdo that. You want to keep lots of length in the spine. And then work with me in this practice to get to your edge and then actually reverse away from it and give yourself a good few inches of space, of acceptance, of patience, and see if you can enjoy yourself a bit more. Breathe a bit more. Feel what's happening more. Feel those micro movements, energy flowing. And then slowly coming up. And we'll take the other side. So extending the left leg, bringing, if you want it, a block under the right knee, just to add a little bit of extra support there. And then from here, turn towards the straight leg. Use the left hand as a little kickstand, and then bring a bit of weight to the right leg and push the right leg away. And you can feel that you're really reaching away. So there's a bit of a side stretch happening, there's a twist happening, there's a lot going on in your body to enable this position to happen. So it's not just the tightness in the straight leg we're working with, there's a whole cocktail of different resistance points, stretches, of feelings. So this is a really great one to experiment with pulling back on, because there's so many ways in which we can meet ourselves here. So bring your right arm over the left leg to take yourself a bit deeper to the foot, to the ankle, to the shin. And then really get to your edge, get as far as you feel is really doable, manageable. And then pull back. A good few inches off that edge. And in that spaciousness between your edge, between your maybe sense of ideals about yourself, in that place where you might wish that you were something else or someone else, and into this place of reality, into this place of truth, acceptance, and maybe pleasure, maybe enjoyment. And breathe there. Set and slowly coming up. So it's really interesting. It's like what I'm noticing is that my body is enjoying it, but my brain isn't. My brain is going, no, you're going to do better. You're going to be happier if you go further. Whereas my body's like, yeah, but I'm happy right now. This is good right now. Let's finish with one last forward fold and then Shavasana. So we're going to do this one, which is the kind of classic stretch of the West, it's called, forward fold, sticking with that little blanket platform. And let's do this with a bit of support under the knees. So either you can use a block, which if you've just got a block, maybe if you have a jumper or a scarf or something, a towel, put the block with something soft over it, so it creates this softer, rounder support for the knees. And then drag your bolster or your block with something on it under your knees, or two blocks. And then we're going to fold forward and just really hinge at the hips, folding down. And having some support under the knees makes it so much more enjoyable, so much more soft and manageable, and allows you to really bring your belly against your thighs. You can hold your feet, keep getting longer, keep reaching out of the hips, reaching longer spine, and then begin to fold down and fold over your legs, letting your head go. And if you find this fairly easy, you can fold down with very little resistance, then enjoy that. See if you can just enjoy having a really easy experience. If you're struggling with this and you feel like you're really pulling yourself down, then maybe pull back, bring your elbows onto your legs, don't hold the feet, and just rest there, or maybe come a little bit higher up and get to the place where you really are genuinely comfortable. And just pull back from this whole thing we're doing, this being on a yoga mat, practicing asanas. What is this we're doing? What is this whole practice about? What is it for? Why do you do this? Why do we do this? Why do we keep coming back to this? Can you find your truth in it, your practice, your enjoyment in this? And then slowly coming up. So you're ready to lie down in Shavasana now. So I'm just going to move the bolster forward a little so I can lie down, put the blanket under my head, or you can put the blanket over you, and let's spend a few minutes here in your final position in this practice, resting. And give yourself space so that you can relax the arms out beside you or onto your body. And settle in to the ground, to the support underneath you, to the ease in your body now. The feeling of your body just going, yes, And really we want our whole practice to feel like that. It doesn't at times, and we have to be honest about that. And if our practice only very rarely feels like a yes, if so often it feels like a no, you have to keep pulling back and finding where the enjoyment is. Otherwise, it's very hard to continue. We avoid it. And we want to continue most of all. So now you're settled, you're comfortable, find your breath. And I'm just going to give you a little few moments here of a body scan, just to check in with each part of your body that has been part of this practice today. So bring your attention to your feet, just check where they are and give them thanks and notice them from what they were doing in this practice. Into the ankles, into the legs, feeling the lower legs and the knees with appreciation of noticing, of awareness.
Noticing the thigh bones, the thigh muscles, and into the pelvis, this feeling of softness, openness, relaxing in the hips. Feeling the lower back and the belly, softness, openness there. With gratitude to your belly and your lower back for, for staying steady, stable, keeping the breath regular. Moving up through your body, feel your spine, amazing spine, into your chest, the rib cage and everything it's protecting, the heart, the lungs, all those internal organs, around the chest, the shoulders, down the arms, amazing arms. So often working, doing, pulling, pushing. Can they just rest now? Into the hands, the fingers, and up into the neck and head. And feel the head and the neck and the face and the jaw. Feel the mouth soft, the face soft. A few more breaths there. With appreciation and a sense of yourself, just as you are, as you rest, your completeness, your brilliance. There's nothing that needs fixing, and anything that seems imperfect in this moment is exactly how it should be, is exactly how it should be right now in yourself, in your life, in your body. Take a few slow breaths. And then just give your feet a wiggle, toes, ankles a turn, find your hands, fingers, thumbs. We're going to come up from here, so when you're ready you can roll over to your side, push up to sitting. I'm going to use my bolster to sit on, even just for these few seconds. A minute of sitting to make it comfortable. Just find your seat, find that steady spine, that stillness, awareness. And feel the verticality of your spine, the ease in your body now after Shavasana. And just witness yourself in your life. Just take a little snapshot of yourself in your life at the moment, and the areas where you're reaching, you're pushing your edges in the rest of your life. Maybe it's in a relationship that you're trying to improve, or it's at work and you're seeking to achieve something, get to a goal, or a hobby or something you enjoy that you're trying to get better at. What if you could reverse the other way? If you could just pull back and just let it all be. Just be the witness of it all and know that you're enough, it's enough, that you're alive. And that's absolutely wonderful. Let's close with 3 gentle oms together to the heart, bowing your head into your body with its wisdom, its intelligence, and its ever-present messages of information and support.
and omming to yourself, to your body, like a soothing tone of support and love. Well done for coming with me on this journey. Namaste.